Welcome to the Seven Figure CEO podcast, where we talk all things marketing strategies, business systems, personal development insights, and conduct interviews with successful CEOs and entrepreneurs. Learn the exact strategies on how seven-figure CEOs market and scale their companies with your host, Chris Rodriguez. Welcome, everybody, to the Seven Figure CEO podcast. Today, we have another special guest, Mr. Hung Tran of Tran's Martial Arts Fitness Center in Colorado, specializing in Muay Thai. He's been a Grow Pro client here with us for the last 7 months and is crushing it, so he had to bring him on. Tran, welcome to the show.
Well, Chris, thank you for having me. Like I said, I am honored and a privilege to be with you and finally meet you and the face behind Grow Pro. And for that, I know Kyle speaks very highly of you. And I'm so honored. And Kyle's an amazing kid. I love that kid. I get a chance to meet with him on a monthly basis and hold him accountable. Good. And give me some ideas and everything too. So he's told me a lot of things about you. And I'm just glad we got a chance to finally connect.
Yeah, 100%. You know, Kyle actually started with me at my school, Gracie Pack, a few years ago. I hired him to run our after school program. And once COVID hit, we decided we weren't going to bring that after school program back. And he was such a great employee that I was like, man, I don't want to lose this kid. And I mean, he is kind of a kid. He's 21 years old. He's still in college. He still lives at home, but he also trains, you know, and that's really important to me. A big portion of our employees here at Grow Pro also train. And, you know, besides all of the massive amounts of benefits that we know, when they train, they understand the perspective of a martial artist and can really understand what a school owner is going through as well. So glad to hear that he's doing well for you. Let's kind of rewind. Tell us a little bit about your, you know, how you got started in the martial arts, and then when did you open your martial arts school? What was kind of the catalyst for that?
Well, you know, first of all, I'm a long-time believer, staying humble and staying hungry. I always say that in my life because I was a refugee kid from Vietnam. So my family and I escaped on a boat, and we survived at sea. And an American naval ship picked us up, and we came to this country with really, when we said nothing on our back, with nothing on our back. And you know, we started out with humble beginnings, came up here, lived on food stamp, and but the one thing I knew growing up was I was a closet Bruce Lee. Because every time I would watch a Bruce Lee, I mean, I would have Bruce Lee posters everywhere, and I just couldn't afford martial arts. And but one day, you know, we got bullied a lot growing up in this country, being Asian and being a white community that we were lived in, and we got bullied a lot. And my dad was a single dad who took care of 5 kids on his own. We didn't have a mom. Yeah, we didn't have a mom growing up. So my dad was my hero. He was a black belt in the military in Vietnam and under the Korean Tiger team. And we're all black belt. I have niece and nephew black, so it's 3 generations of black belt in my family. So it's in our blood. It's what we do. And we're passionate about. We found our ikigai and what we do here is for that too. So that's where I got started. So I got started because I was bullied. And I always tell people, you know, because I was bullied years ago, I didn't understand, but that became a gift for me many years later when I unwrapped it, right? We always talk about some challenges we have, but those challenges becomes our success in life, right? So we have to push those and understand that. We preach our kids that too. So that's how I got started. I actually got started in Tae Kwon Do. Okay. I have a 3rd-degree black belt in Tae Kwon Do under my teacher, Terry Lee Meerman in Colorado here. But at the time, you know, 5 of us, we didn't have money. My dad was on food stamp, but we didn't have money. But my teacher at the time did something to me that just changed my life forever. And he said, if you guys 5 kids want to train in martial art, I'll let you clean my school and I'll let you guys go for free. And because of that gesture he did for me, that changed our life forever because we could not afford martial arts. Because of that, we do so many community service in our own community and give back to our community, do scholarship programs and everything else to help back and give back to what he did for us. So community involvement is huge in what we do every year during holiday season, regular season, whatever we can to help our people who are underprivileged in our community as well and give back. That's how I got started, Chris. You know, just learning the martial arts in this industry and just learning to give back. I think that's the biggest thing I would like to preach more about today is a lot of time when we talk to successful people, they measure you, but you know what they ask me the most is like, Oh, how many students do you have? Because in our industry, we don't know what else to ask, because that's like a sign of success, right? I would love for people ever ask me, come up to me and say to me, how many people have you impacted? Mm-hmm. Because that's harder to measure, but it's true really what we really do, right? Yeah. I always tell my team, trans martial art, the word trans is about transformation. That's what we're really about. We're about transformation, you know? So anyways, that's how
I'd love to unpack a little bit of that. I had absolutely no idea, you know, the upbringing that you had. And I love that, you know, you said, you know, closet Bruce Lee, and that this is something that your entire family did together. One of the things that you said was, you know, the bullying actually helped you to become who you are. And I think that's so important for us, not just as martial artists, but also as business owners. It's not easy. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be rough times. And the better question, instead of saying like, why is this happening to me, is what can I learn from this? And I love that you have that mindset. And then the second thing that really hit me was the ripple effect that your Taekwondo instructor had on helping to transform thousands of lives through you, by giving you and your family an opportunity to, you know, to help out at the school in exchange for martial arts. And that ultimately helped you with this mindset of, what can we give back and do for the community? Because, you know, this is how I got my start. So absolutely love that. Talk to me about the transition from martial arts student to martial arts school owner, right? Because those are two very big, different things.
Yeah. So, I mean, I went to college, I got a degree. You don't believe the degree I got. In our Asian culture, you know, education's everything, right? So, I mean, that's just been Asian culture. My dad pushed me to do everything. I didn't want to go to college, but I did it for my dad. But, you know, because in our Asian culture, if you got a B, that means you're below average. And you got an A, that means you're average.
Right.
You know, so I was kind of like below average in the Asian culture. So anyways, I went to college. I got a degree in landscape architecture. I graduated. And then at the time, my brother just opened up a martial arts school, because my instructor closed his school down after years and years of teaching and retiring. And he needed help. And he asked me, he said, why don't you come and work for me for 6 months? If it doesn't work, you can go on the real world and go get your architecture drafting apprenticeship if you want to. I go, that's enticing. So I went to work for my brother for 6 months. I became one of his instructors. And I never looked back. My brother was my first mentor in the business. You know, we always tell, my dad is always a hard worker, but he always said, you know, you can't just work hard all your life. You got to be good at doing what you love to do. You have to have a black belt in business as well, right? Too. So my brother was my first mentor, and he taught me how to not only teach, but how to lead and run a martial arts school. And then with our family in Colorado, we opened 5 locations with my brothers and sisters, all 5 of us, in northern Colorado. Under Tae Kwon Do at that time. Back in the first location opened back in 1988.
Awesome.
1988. My location in Longmont, Colorado, I've been running now. I just celebrated in December 28 years.
Wow, congratulations.
But you know, I love what I do, because I brought up the term. Have you heard, Chris, the term ikigai?
I have. Yes, I have.
So this is why I preach a lot with my people, because, and I look at you, Chris, I say this, I mean, this is your ikigai, because you found what you love, right? I mean, I can tell you, because when I listen to you and I follow you and everything, you're always on top of, you're always your voice, your tonality, the way you interact with people has been amazing. You found what you love. That's the first part, ikigai. The second part of ikigai is do what you're good at. And you're good at what you do. You can tell. You thrive at it. You're right. And third, do what you get paid for, or what you get rewarded for, right? Okay. And the last one is the hardest one for most people. The last quadrant is do what contributes, gives back to the world. Here's what you do, Chris. Your company helps other schools to put them in front of their community so they can impact that community even more. And martial art is on the right side of change. After all these years, martial art has been on the right side of change in this country. So your company has been on the right side of change to help impact our world better. And in the middle of those 4 quadrants is what we call ikigai. And ikigai in Japanese means reason for being, your purpose, right? That's me. I found exactly what I love. And then you, Chris, epitomize that at the top level, right? So that's how I see that.
Well, I really appreciate the kind words. I've got chills over here. And, you know, I think when somebody has reached that level of, you know, doing what they love, making an impact, being rewarded, that word retirement isn't even like in my vocabulary, right? And, you know, like, oh, what are you going to do when you retire? I'm like, look, sitting on the beach, you know, is going to get old pretty soon. And there's not much impact that you're having doing that. And, you know, I don't ever envision myself retiring. And I think people that, you know, are kind of on that same level where you're doing what you love, you're making an impact, you're being rewarded for it. Why would you ever want to stop doing that? You know? Right. Absolutely love it.
And we're at the stage in our life right now, at least with me, with us, all the people who's been in this industry in 28 years for me doing it. Now is my time as a leader to give back to my team. Basically, I serve my team and my team serves my students, right? And that's what leadership do. You know, you wake up every day, you look to your right and your left and you serve your people, you know, and that's what it is. I mean, you know what, we always think of leadership as you serve me. Right? That's a wrong
servant word. Leadership is the way that it should be. And, you know, I love that, you know, I think for a lot of school owners, leadership in their mind is them leading their students. And it's the school owners that realize they should be leading their team so their team can lead their students, really kind of hit that next level of success. So talk to me a little bit about your team at Trans. You know, what does that look like? And then what kind of programs do you offer that your team, you know, helps to make successful?
Right. So we right now have 18 coaches, 18 coaches, and 5 of those coaches are part-time employees.
Okay.
But the rest of them all volunteer. We have 18 coaches, 10 teenagers who are storm leaders. So I serve a team of 28 on a daily basis. That's part of my team right there. I'm just one of the 28 that makes the whole show run. But I serve the 28 team on a daily basis. And that is what we do. I'm very big on leadership because I believe that's the next point of what a lot of schools are really, really lacking. Like you 100%. Said, you know, maybe when you first start out and you're a single man team, yeah, you have no one to lead other than the students. That makes sense. But once you begin, if you really want to scale your business and begin to grow your business to a level that you need to, then you need to build a team and you need to have a system in place, right? System, acronym for system, what? Save yourself time, energy, and money, right?
I love it.
That's acronym for system. So if you add in systems in everything you do, like we have a system for our onboarding. If you are going to be a part of our team, I don't care if you're volunteer or paid, you must go through our 4 weeks onboarding program. You know, and onboarding is all about culture. We're talking about the culture of our trans tribe and our vibe. We call our people our trans tribe, right? Our vibe here. And you need to be a part of that culture. If you understand that culture, after the 4 weeks, then you get initiated into the team. And then after that, then you have to go through a certification, yearly certification. And right now, we use the software Kajabi to do modules. They have to take those, they go on Kajabi, they take 5-week modules, they gotta take those things, test them for me, pass it, written exam and everything, then go on to the next module, level 1 coach certification and 2 certification and so forth like that. So, I mean, those are step by step. I mean, you don't have to, I always tell people my way is not the only way, but it's just my way of doing things that makes sense to me. And I always tell people too, is that if you really, really want to impact your community, start first and foremost with your family, right? First and foremost, it's got to be good at home. Secondly, you need to start impacting your team. You got to help change your life. Impact goes way beyond that.
Yeah, you know what it sounds like is you've done a really great job of kind of creating this ladder of leadership, right? You said you have the storm team that is often comprised of, teenagers,
Right.
and then there's an onboarding process, whether they're, going to be paid or volunteer. Then you have this ongoing training. And for those that don't know, Kajabi is an online platform where it can host videos, it can host quizzes. You can actually see the progress that, whether or not people are watching the videos or taking the quizzes. And I love that you've leveraged technology to help you organize this and create this, ladder of leadership, because we know having extrinsic rewards and progress works. That's why there's belt systems in the martial arts and there's stripes.
Right.
But oftentimes, school owners don't take it to that next level, which is developing a leadership program where they have, a pathway to move up. And it sounds like that's exactly what you've done at your school.
Right. And that's exactly what we want to continue to do, because we won't give them, like you said, the pathway to grow. Right. I think the biggest thing about having a leadership program the size that I have is that you give them a platform to grow. I think that's a huge part of your team. Your team needs to understand that you're on their side. You want them to grow. Right. So, for example, in our agreement is that it says that you must attend 2 Muay Thai classes a week minimum. Right.
I love
if you're not going to class, you think you're above, everything. You're not part of this team. That's part of our culture. You must first and foremost be a student. That's what got you here, right? That got all of us here. So, anyways, we give them a platform to shine, a voice to be heard. They love to be heard. They love that their voice, what they contribute, means something. It's not like my way or the highway. No, we love your ideas. We bring them every day, because when you start the meeting and all you do is give them ideas, you taint the meetings already. Because then you teach a yes team. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, you let them put the ideas, and then you give them ideas. Oh, I love that. That didn't work. So you give them a platform, a voice to be heard, and a place they feel like they belong. Those are things that I do really work with my team on. And I know each and every one's birthday. I know what they love to do, what dog they have. I know everything about them. And when it comes around that time season, I want to make sure I recognize those things. It makes you know that I really care for them.
I love it. When I first started my school, I was pretty young. And when we were in meetings, the only voice you would hear was mine. I wasn't asking questions. I was saying and telling what we were going to do. And, you learn as you go and as you get years under your belt and experience. And now, I've got a team of 27 here at the agency and a team of 7 at the martial arts school. And, all of those brains put together are much more powerful than just mine. And I love that, you said you give them a platform to vocalize their opinions and their ideas. And I think that's just so important, especially when you're the owner. You might not be doing the day-to-day things, right? You might not be teaching all of the classes. You might not be selling the programs. You might not be doing the, lead follow-up because you have a team. If they're the ones that are doing it and they're on the front line, you should absolutely want to hear their feedback, because you're not there, doing it on a day-to-day basis. So I love that you have it set up that way. Talk to me about the programs that you guys offer. So you're predominantly a Muay Thai school. Do you have kids programs, adult programs, women's only what does that kind of look like?
Right. So, our market is families, but I know a lot of schools say that, but here's what the difference is. A lot of schools say, because Tae Kwon Do, it's predominantly kids. Just granted, that's kids, right? So when they say family, they mean kids. But when we say families at our school, we mean everybody. Because my goal when I started Muay Thai, transitioning to teaching Taekwondo Muay Thai, was to have a 50% adult base and 50% kid base. That's exactly what we have today. We have a 50% adult base. Tons of moms and dads who are killing it out there on the floor, hitting these pads, cracking pads out there, and getting the best shape of their life, right? So so when we say family, that's bulk what we do here. We have a huge adult base, a huge kid base in what we do. Yes, we teach fitness kickboxing. It's kind of like a smaller program that we teach for people who might not want to do martial arts and Muay Thai, but want to still hit the bag. So we do fitness kickboxing and sport like that. And we decided to add belt system. You know, my teacher was a Grandmaster Toddy. I'm not sure you ever heard of him or not, but he owned a martial arts school out in Las
100%.
Vegas.
Yes.
And he moved back to Thailand and so forth. And he runs a camp out in Thailand now. But I was a teacher under him and certified under him years ago, back in the 90s. And my mindset coming from a Taekwondo background said, you know what, retention is a huge part. And my teacher, Grandmaster, I love him to death, but he didn't have a system. You would go to his gym and whatever is on his mind, he taught that day. So being a note taker, I had notes and journals, all the stuff he taught me in Muay Thai. And I started putting the system together. He didn't know. And I put it on a DVD. I had a film, put it on DVD, and I gave it to him one day, and I said, I was freaking out. I said, oh my God, what is he going to think? I said, sir, I'll be honored if you watch this DVD and tell me what you think, and if you would endorse this for me. Wow. A week goes by, he didn't say anything. I'm waiting for a phone call. He finally calls me about 2 weeks later. He goes, hey, Tae Tran. I go, yes, sir. He goes, I'm loving what you're doing. You're putting my system into a program, into a systematic way where people can learn. So he wrote me this big endorsement. And then I started my own organization, the TMTA, the Trans Muay Thai Association, back in 2000. And I sold those DVDs on Amazon, over hundreds and hundreds of them back in the 2010. And I certified level 1, level 2, and level 3 crew over several hundred schools in North America back in 2010. Amazing. So that's what I did to teach the system. And then I decided to put a belt to it, though, because I thought, you know what? I need to put belts to this because it works great with retention. It's how I was brought up in the belt system, so forth. So I put a belt system, a 12 ranking belt system, to a first degree black belt in our system of Muay Thai, right? And what we do. I don't care what everyone else does, what Muay Thai, but it's what we do. And so I like that too. And ever since then, I started certifying people, summer camps that fly out here and train with me, and they teach my system. Now I finally have a program on Kajabi that I sell to martial arts school owners that actually want to add Muay Thai to their program as a standalone program or as an add-on to their Black Belt Club, Masters Club, and things like that, you know. But that's what we do. You know, we now, our active count is roughly right around 300 right now. So, but, you know, we're killing it. We're having fun. You know, when you understand your ikigai, you know, the thing is that 28 years, I'm still on the floor. Not to say it's bad or good or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm still on the floor a lot. I don't teach
because you want to be on the floor, right? Because you don't have to be because you want to be.
Exactly. I'm still out in the trenches with my team. I lead from the front. I'm still in the trenches with all you guys out there, you know? And now that I think part of being a great leader, Chris, is that you yourself need to continue to grow, right? Mentally, but also physically, right? I mean, you talked about you're an affiliate of Bang Muay Thai years ago. I'm actually training with Sensei Dwayne live. I train at his headquarters school daily. You know, I'm a purple belt in his system. And back then, when you were affiliated with him, he had a color T-shirt ranking system. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what now? He has a belt ranking system.
Yep.
I mean, people are evolving. I mean, I get haters out there. Believe me, I wrote a huge article on haters. And yeah, but you know, and as I've been hated all my life because being Asian, all these things. I'm so used to that, and I just blow it up. But you put a belt system to Muay Thai. Well, it works for me. That's all I can say. I'm not saying it's for everybody. Since the Dwayne Ludwig put a belt system to his Dutch style kickboxing program. Yep. I mean, it evolves. We all evolve. We want to get better.
Somebody made a belt system for Tae Kwon Do. I mean, there's tons of them out there, right? Exactly. I completely agree with you. When I took over my instructor's kids jiu-jitsu program in the early 2000s, there were only 4 belts for the kids back then: white, yellow, orange, and green. Can't get your blue belt until you're an adult. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this 5-year-old, I can give him new rank every 3 years. Like that's, because you got to spread it out.
Right.
Like that's not going to work. So what did I do? I made my own belt ranking system.
Right.
Why? Because the end goal is for them to be lifelong martial artists. That's the end goal. And if that's the end goal, then I need to put smaller milestones in place that keeps them motivated and helps to create those great habits to stay disciplined, to want to continue to come in. So I'm completely on the same page with you on that. School's been open 28 years, right? So you've gone through a lot, right? You went through like Y2K. Everybody thought all the machines were going to shut off when we went from 1999 to 2000. You went through the real estate recession. You also went through COVID. So I got to bring it up. Fortunately, I think the majority of schools that made it through are kind of back to where they were, before COVID hit. But how were you affected by COVID? And if you kind of had to sum up your game plan, what was it?
Well, first of all, back then, before COVID we shut down in March. I think everyone did around March of 2000. I think it was ours in Colorado was March 16th. Was the Monday.
Second week.
Yeah, right. And the thing was, the week before that, I never knew the word Zoom. I had no idea what the word Zoom meant. One of my lead instructor came to me. He said, "Sir, you know what Zoom is?" I go, "What is that?" He goes, "It's an online platform where you do classes, all these." I go, "Can you show me?" He showed me in 1 hour. Look, kiddingly not. I mean, I had to rush this thing. He showed me. He sat with me 1 hour and showed me Zoom. The rest of it, I went on and started learning myself. It took me 1 day to took over 300 members onto Zoom. 1 day. And then a week later, I found out about breakout rooms. I go, "Oh my gosh, there's breakout rooms in here?" So I text all my team members. I go, "Guys, listen, I'm going to start this thing. I'm going to lead from the front. I tell you how it's going to do it. I lead the class. I warm it up. And then after that, we're going to break it out. There's 4 instructors on here. We're breaking 4 breakout rooms and then come back together as a group, just like we did in class. Right? So I had to do all these things. I did it for a year. And guess what, Chris? I taught that class in my master bedroom for 1 year.
Wow.
I was
got to do what it takes.
Do what it takes. I did it in my master bedroom. I had the small master bedroom. I laid out the mats, moved everything out, put out these spotlight, candle lights, all these things, and did it. With Stella, my girl Stella, English Bulldog, and I were there doing story time with the kids. So they missed her too and everything. And we went on. We did all these things. We had to adjust. Leaders pivot, right? You pivoted. We all do. It's part of what we do as we're leaders. If you understand your ikigai will push you through the hardest season of your life. When you understand your purpose, nothing will stop you. Listen, nor COVID, nor anything. Because you know why? Your team that you built years ago, it's easy to say, I have an amazing team. You don't have an amazing team until you go through hard time with your team. That's when you know we had. After I went through COVID, I go, "Oh my God, I have an amazing." Now, all those years I've been telling them what they need to do. I go, "This is the time you guys need to step up now." And guess what? They all stepped up. That's when you know you have an amazing team that you placed in years ago. The system you have in place. So we did great. We saved. Majority of our people, we were so loyal. Majority of our people stuck with it, and kept their membership throughout the whole season.
Awesome. So, something you said earlier was, your ultimate goal for the facility was, 50% adults, 50% kids. And, that's kind of right where you're at. You said a lot of the parents, are training as well. So I'd like to kind of shift gears and dive into a little bit of marketing. Let's start with that. How are you, getting the parents on the mat? Because this is, something I think anybody that has kids programs and they're also offering adult programs, the majority of schools are, maybe 70-30, 70% kids, 30% adults, or maybe even higher, 80% kids, 20% adults. And you have all of these adults that are sitting in the lobby watching the kids' classes, And they want to know, how do I get them on the mat? How do I get them on the floor? So what kind of, maybe marketing do you do, or do you have systems in place to get those parents on the floor?
Yes. I mean, first of all, I think the biggest issues, because coming from my Taekwondo background, is that it's 80% kids. So most of the time they call it family classes, right? Where you put moms in a little corner with all these kids running around doing it with them.
Sure.
I know very few people will want that. First of all, you have to create an adult class, a separate adult class. You can't just say, let's do a family class where all can be together. No. I mean, if you ever follow any of my programs, my social, I'm very big on social media. I love social media. Some people hate it. It's okay. I love it. Everything you see on Instagram and Facebook, I do everything myself. I'm not only a teacher, I'm a videographer, I edit, I do everything, I post it on a daily basis. Nothing stops on social media with me. And off top tangent, I'll come back to this, is that I'm using chat GPT right now. Also, I'm playing with that right now on my advertising. It's for that too. I'll come back. Now with adult, what we did is that we created a separate adult program where they know they come to that class, it's gonna be just for them, right? And then we did separate adult advertisement, because most advertisement you see out there are mainly for kids.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I talked to Kyle. He told me, "Oh, you're the only Muay Thai school we have in his clients. Out of his clients," he said that. I said, "Okay, great. Mm-hmm. Then I want you to know something about my school. I'm not just about kids." So in January, what did I do? January is a big adult market, right?
100%.
Some people are still doing the kids marketing. For me, January, February, March, I had Kyle do all adult marketing. We had over 100 some leads in January and stuff, right? It's because we can, and then that's one, you do adult marketing separate from like a family picture. We do adult marketing, adult advertisement, adult everything, right? And when they come in, we do an adult intro, right? And separate from the kids intro, you take them in there, you do an intro, you put them in the class, and they see the vibe right away. Here's the thing, culture is everything, Chris. You know that already. When people come to your school, my adults, first of all, they feel fearful, they feel stupid, but when they come, they see their kids being treated with respect and how they feel comfortable. When they walk into my floor, I guarantee you, if you, Chris, you step into my adult class the very first day, I'll guarantee you, without me saying one word, every one of my adult students will come up to you automatically and say, "Hi, my name is Chris. You are, welcome to our school." That's part of our culture, right? So if you create a culture where adults feel comfortable, where they don't feel ridiculed because of what they've been through in their life, they feel loved, right? They feel wanted, and let them know that even if they're a parent, they can still do it, right? So we create a culture that years ago. Now parents know when they're sitting the kids, we always, during the intro, we always talk to the parent. "Hey, parent, just so you know, 50% of our student base here is parents. There's tons of moms and dad out there are having fun doing it. I would love to give you a chance to try it out. Here's a free pass to come try it out." So we're always pushing the adult program, and vice versa. When adults come in, we also, "Do you have kids at all?" "Oh, you do?" "We're very big on life skill building. Let me give you a pass here for you. How was your kid?" "5." "Oh, we have an amazing award-winning Little Tigers program. Here's a pass for that. Let them bring in." So vice versa, we play both roles in that. And then of course, September comes around, we push the kids marketing a little more, right? So you have to put out there, if you want adults, you have to build adult market, adult classes for them to come to. It can't be a family class.
Great advice. So let's take that as a step further. Are there particular offers, right? This is a question that comes up a lot. What offer should I do? Should I do a free offer? Should I do a paid offer? What have you experienced kind of works the best for you guys? What kind of offer?
Yes. So ours has been like this consistent for all these years. One, come in for a free introductory trial. Everybody comes in for a free introductory trial. We want that. Second, that we go right into the $99 special. That's been our offer for, I think, about close to 10 years now. $99 for 4 weeks and a uniform. If you're an adult, that means unlimited classes. Okay. If you're a kid, it's only twice a week. Gotcha. It's only twice a week for 4 weeks. When I say 1 month, it's really 4 weeks. So I meant 4 weeks, $99 and a uniform. When we say our uniform, it's a little different. So we give them a t-shirt and a belt. And then eventually they sign up, they have to get the gears, the boxing glove, the shin guards, the hand wraps, and the shorts, the Muay Thai shirt, the whole thing that comes with that.
Sure. I love it. At what point during that 4-week trial do you try to convert them to, a full-time?
I would say our 3 weeks, but I think even more than that, Chris, here's why I say is that conversion, you can convert them up to 2 weeks, 1 week, or anything. The conversion really starts from the moment they decided to do the 4 weeks, right?
Sure.
I mean, how you make them feel. Every day they come in, are you following up with them? And then by the time you talk to them, we don't believe in the old school is taking them to the office, right? Take them off, sit down. Oh my gosh, no. We do everything on the mat. Life, we say here, life happens on the mat. That's where real friendship being built right now. It's on the mat. So we hide nothing. We don't hide tuition. We don't hide anything. So we just talk to them. Hey, how's it going on the mat? My instructors, how's it going? What do you think? Is that something you still want to do? They follow up with that and talk about, okay, as it gets cold, then we just sign them up. It just rolls naturally that way.
Sure.
Instead of having a 2-week program, give them a call, do these things. No, we talk to them right on the first week, second week, third week. We know by that time they're going to sign up or not.
Sure. I love it. So let's kind of, shift gears here a little bit. 28 years of experience owning, right? Been in the martial arts for a lot longer than that. You are, you just said you're training, consistently. For those of you that are watching, you can see he's got the guns out. You can tell that you prioritize your health. Oftentimes that doesn't happen with school owners.
Right.
They're really gung-ho about their training, and then maybe they open the business and everything piles on. Their training goes to the back burner. How important is your health to you, and how do you think that plays a role into the success of your school?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking to someone who loves to train every day, right? I'm doing at least twice a day training every day, from strength training to Muay Thai is what I do consistently. I always say I lead from the front. So if my team sees me not training, overweight, where if I cinch my belt, I can't even see the knot on my belt, and I sit in the office and all I do is collect the check. I mean, that's a whole different story, right? I mean, here's my health is everything, because you hear it. I mean, Chris, you have a child, right? How old?
I do. He's 3.
3. I'm pretty sure you want to set an example for your 3-year-old. Is it son or daughter?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he has his own set of foam workout equipment that we have, because we have a gym in the garage. And, one of the great pieces of advice that I had heard was put a gym in your home so that your kids, because you might go to the gym every day, but they're not seeing it. If you have a gym in your home, they're going to be exposed to that on a daily basis. So I'm 100% with you on the same page, but I think it's a conversation that doesn't happen often enough, because the stress and the overwhelm of the business oftentimes, will replace that maybe, discipline and motivation to continue training.
So my question to anyone with that is that, how would your team look at you then?
Sure.
Would you be the representation of what you want your team to look like?
Yep.
Right. And I think you agree with me this, Chris, is that when you're at the top of your game, meaning that health level, don't you think you make better decision and precise decision right away?
100%. I think that one of the big kind of light bulb moments for me, because I did slip when I was building the business, was that I work out for my mental health, and the physical gains are just the cherry on top. Right. And that's, for me, I have to get it done in the morning, because I feel like if I get that win in the morning, the rest of the day is easy, so for me, and I just don't think enough business owners, entrepreneurs, small business owners understand the mental benefits that, working and moving your body daily has, and how that will directly positively impact the business.
I am so agree with you on that one, because like I said, I'm a big believer, because my team sees your team watching very closely. At least mine does. They see exactly what I do. They always say, man, he can kill it. Look at that combo he just put together. I said, you better believe it. after all these years, I can still kill it on the mats, cracking these pads. And I want you guys better do better than that, you know? So I'm always leading by example. You know, I want to lead to my team by example. If I want something, if I told them part of their agreement, they have to be training twice a week, I better be training at least twice a week, you know, and so that too. That's a huge part of what we do. So, I mean, I think, and then, no, that, how about your parents? Or your just juniors who see you, where they, how you feel on a daily basis, what you look like, and how you treat yourself and everything. I think it's a huge impact on what we do in our community to give back. You know, people always say, "Man, you look great." I go, "Well, you know, it takes a lot of hard work, but you know, it's not just hard work. It's because I love it.
Yeah,
you know, I'm passionate about it, and I go back to that over and over again. It's like stay humble, but stay hungry."
Mm-hmm.
I'm always humble because I came from humble beginnings, but damn it, I was hungry on that boat when I was a refugee kid. I'm still hungry today.
Yes.
I'm hungry. The only difference is that I'm hungry for life. I'm hungry to continue to evolve at this stage of my life and continue to grow.
I love it. You know, one of our core values at Gracie Pack is lead from the front. So I love that, you know, we're on the same page with that. You know, hindsight's 2020. And if you know, looked back and you were to start all over again, is there anything that you would have done differently in terms of owning and operating the martial arts school?
Well, you know, Chris, I think you would believe with me on this, is that one of the hardest thing about running a business is what? Team development, staff development, right? You
100%.
Agree? I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's not a box you ever get to check off, right? Like if you have a to-do list, you don't get to check people off your to-do list. It's constant. It needs constant attention and nurturing.
So my answer would be, I wish at the time I knew how to lead people. At that time and season in my life, I was in my early 20s, just graduated from college, opened a school. I only did what I did best, which is head down, hunker in, and just work. And at the same time, I didn't learn about leadership. I only learned that years later in my life. And then that truly helped me to scale my business better because, hey, you can't do life alone. It's hard. It would be very, very sad if all you thought was just yourself in life here. There's a bigger picture than this. My job and our job here in our industry is to leave a legacy for the next generation, right? We talk about that all the time. And how can we do that? Well, serve our people. Again, I think my biggest thing is if I wish I would have known more about leadership and how to give back to my team at the time, my life that I didn't at the time. That's what I would have done differently.
Yeah, you know, and when we kind of kicked off this podcast, we were talking a little bit about the difference between being a leader for your students versus being a leader for your team members. And, you know, I think oftentimes school owners don't make that, you know, transition from one to the other because they, you know, they are slightly different skill sets when you are managing and leading a team of employees. You know, these are people that you're paying to be there, not students that are paying you to be there.
Right.
What do you say to the school owner of a martial arts business that maybe feels stuck and they're just not sure how to, you know, take their school to that next level, get to that, you know, even though it's a vanity metric, the active count, it is a metric that you should, you should measure. So what do you say to the school owners that's stuck and, you know, they really want to take their school to the next level?
One, get out of your head. You know, sometimes we're so stuck. And we don't really, I mean, we talk about growth all the time here at Trans. You know, our mission, just so you understand, our mission at Trans is 3 words: to grow, serve, and love. That's been our mission for the last 28 years. And growth is the first word in our mission statement, growth. So get out of your head because you don't have all the answers. There's a lot of people out there that can help you, that can get you all the answers. So go seek help because we get so comfortable in our comfort zone. Even when we're in the dark place, we get comfortable. Right? We don't want to seek help. There's so many amazing people out there willing to help companies, organizations, mentors, coaches, and so on that's willing to help if you look for that. But you have to drop your ego at the door, you know, and seek help. There's help out there. I come from I think what makes me different for everybody, for most everybody, is that when I was in my 20s, I had to raise my right hand to get sworn in to become an American citizen. I wasn't born American, but I am definitely an American. But I had to work for it. It wasn't given to me. My freedom had to be earned. I love this country. Everything I do, I give back to this country now. How I contribute back to betterment of my community to make it better. Now, if you have that philosophy, you can't lose. My dad said, how can you lose in this country? How about this? For those people who have this issue, how about if I put you in a communist country?
Right?
What do you think that would be? I escaped from a communist country. So you can't lose. Everything you do, you have to have mentality, Chris. It's like, okay, if this doesn't work, what will work? Let's do this. Come on. This doesn't work. This is one of the thousands of pillars that's going to make it work. You can't give up. Secondly, you can't give up. If you understand your ikigai, you can't give up because that's your purpose. How can you? You're right? So you have to continue to push forward through the hard time, through the season, and let the people who love you and care for you help you and lead you in that direction.
Yeah, that white belt mindset, right? You got to have that white belt mindset, and continuous growth is actually one of our core values here at GrowPro. We continually grow.
Right.
We're not just growing for the company. We're not just growing for our clients. We're growing for ourselves. You know, I tell my team all the time, Jim Rohn was like my first experience in learning about personal development, you know, OG.
Mine too.
Yes. You know, I had the cassette tapes.
Yes.
And one of my favorite quotes that he says is, you work harder on yourself than you do your job. And as the leader and boss, I tell my team that. I say, I don't want you working harder on your job than you are yourself. You have got to develop who you are as a person. And I know if that happens, that's automatically going to trickle into their career. It has to, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Awesome.
I think that's huge. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, as we wrap up here, this has been so much fun. Any additional nuggets of wisdom or insight that, you know, you'd like to get off of your heart to our listeners?
Well, to all the school owners, this is going out to message all the school owners. I want to say this is that, you know what? We've been given a privilege to take care of the people in our hands. We've been given a privilege. Start with your team. Take care of your team. A lot of time we think about taking care of our students, but we get our team, we use our team instead of taking care of them. Take care of your team. Your team is your family, your nucleus, and they will take care of the students.
Yes.
Right? So we've been given a privilege to carry on our martial art tradition, the legacy. And until this day, I still believe, I use this over and over, martial art is on the right side of change. We are on the right side of change, and we continue to move forward in that direction. Now, how do we do that? Well, many ways out there. One way is to impact one life at a time. The ripple effects that you did on that person, from that student, that child, sometimes you will never see in your lifetime, but you know you did it. That's legacy driven. That's legacy driven, right? So I preach more about this than just any other things in my life, money or anything else, is that I'm here because I truly love martial arts. I'm a third generation, right? I truly love martial arts. It's in my blood. But that's why I have a privilege and honor to carry this legacy on for the next generation and do it the right way. And secondly, have freaking high standards for your life and for the people you are around you. Never settle for anything less than you and your team deserve in life. Work your ass off by the same, well, I'm not sure, but
You're
work
good.
your ass off, but continue to work and serve the people. Love your people, take care of your people. That's my message.
I love it. It is a privilege. I've had just a fun time with you on here. It was great getting to learn about your humble beginnings and what you have grown, the way that you're giving back to the community. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, Tran.
Well, Chris, thank you so much. Like I said, it's been an honor. I follow you and I watch you carefully and follow that too. And I understand your work ethic and where you're headed with your company. I love your company. Out there, for anyone who's thinking about, getting help in the industry, getting new leads or anything. I've been with GrowPro for only about 7 months. I love Kyle. He's a young kid. I sometimes even mentor him sometimes. And then because I asked her, hey, Kyle, I know you work with Chris, and she has that Gracie Pack school. When they did the tournament, so I asked him for all these questions. He goes, oh, yeah, that's why I love Kyle, because he's in the industry. He does that, right? So he gives Mac those things. So anyways, I love Grow Pro. I love you guys, and I appreciate your time, Chris.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, take care.